Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. You know, it always amazes me that people live with a problem from their builder from day one. And this home is probably 8 to 10 years old, and the problem existed from day one. And you can kind of see what's going on here. Very steep driveway, no place for the water to go, and it ends up directly into the garage. So you can kind of see the very steep driveway. And when it rains, even just, a half an inch of water, this water just poured down the driveway and came straight into the garage. And to top that off, there's also a footer pipe that runs along that retaining wall. So the drainage for that retaining wall actually is underneath the concrete right where we're making our cut. So we're going to have to remove that as well. We're going to attach the discharge to this downspout. Can you see this downspout on the corner of the house? That goes around back and it drops off dramatically. I mean, it's a walkout basement and it just drops off maybe 15, 20 feet. So we're easily able to tie into that drain. Start by making 2 cuts across the driveway, one on each side of the channel drain, about 8 inches wide. This is a great project for the do-it-yourself homeowner. Yeah, it takes a little while to do this. In fact, this is 53 feet. We had to cut 2 times across the driveway, and it took about an hour to cut the concrete. Use a garden hose to cool off the blade and help keep the dust down. You can rent this partner saw from most good tool rentals across the country, and this one is a handheld one. You can also rent a walk behind. It makes it a little bit easier on your back, especially when you're going to be bent over for about an hour. Notice that I'm using the channel drain itself as the guide to help make a very straight cut across this driveway. You notice it's just 2 of us. There's me and Telly. I mean, we did this job. It took us about 6 hours altogether. But you know what took the longest was actually removing the debris. Because normally we use a pry bar and break out 1-foot sections, but we couldn't do that here. The reason why is because there was a footer pipe that came down this wall, turned, and was under the concrete. And as we broke that concrete, we found this pipe. As soon as we started breaking this concrete, we noticed that there is a footer pipe. Can you see that corrugated pipe? That pipe ran under the concrete. So, time to get the JackHammer. You can also rent a JackHammer from your local tool supply. Normally, we use a pry bar. If you make good deep cuts through the concrete, and it's an average pour, in other words, 4 inches, you can do it just like this. The pry bar will easily crack that concrete and you can pry it right out. However, on this job that we're working on, it was much deeper and the footer pipe was actually embedded in the concrete. But you can see how easy this is to break with a pry bar. And I promise you this is the best way to do it. But if you have to rent a JackHammer, then you have to rent a JackHammer. Sometimes you just have to do it. Using the 70-pound JackHammer, it's really easy. It does make a lot of debris, and if you've got a piece of pipe that is embedded inside of the concrete that you're trying to save, well, then that's something that you need to use as a JackHammer, because you can make this huge mess. It's lots and lots of rubble, lots of trips to the landfill, either truck or your trailer. It's a lot more work than if you use the pry bar like we first showed you. But it is what it is. And you pretty much have to do whatever is needed. So next we're going to pull out that old pipe. You can see we laid brand new PVC, connected it to that footer pipe that came under the wall. Now we're going to clean this area off and we're going to pour the concrete.
Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.
One thing that Zoller does recommend is that you put a weep hole right here, just above your 1.5-inch male adapter, to allow that any pressure to escape between here and the check valve. Sometimes there becomes a vacuum lock there. So 3/16-inch hole. Real simple little hole right here. This doesn't hurt anything. Some water is going to spill out right here, but such a small amount that it won't make any difference. So now we're ready to install this.